What's up, peoples? It's Gendo here, and welcome back to another Chicago Fire vlog, and it's another away day special as I'm emanating to you live from a Days Inn in Columbus, which is honestly not the best place that you can be emanating from, but don't tell anybody I said that. For Chicago Fire versus Columbus Crew, a big rivalry in the MLS, I believe Chicago Fire's biggest rivalry in their club history, and this is going to be the third time that we're going to be facing them this season, one of the few times that we'll be facing a team 3 times in a season. We drew with them first time, we beat them at home the second time, and now coming away back to MAPFRE Stadium, we gotta hope for a win. A draw is not sufficient enough this time around. We need to come away with all 3 points to continue putting pressure on Toronto at the top of not just the conference, but the top of the Supporters' Shield. So hopefully we could do that today. And a couple of things to note for the Fire: they did acquire a couple of new players without having to get rid of anybody. The first one being Christian Dean. We traded for him from Vancouver Whitecaps for, I believe it was just targeted allocation money at that. He's a center back, a big center back, 6'3", 200 pounds, very physical, and hopefully he can add some much needed depth along this back line because, well, with Brandon Vincent gone, not really have the depth there, not just on the center backing side, but the left back side as well. So hopefully he can provide that. And then also a guy by the name of Rick Sanchez, and honestly I've never heard of him before. Apparently a Mexican international, at least a youth capped Mexican international goalkeeper, because Jorge Bava, who we originally picked up, is gone out with a season-ending injury. He's been put on injured reserve. So all we would have had was Matt Lampson and the rookie Stephen Cleveland. So we needed somebody that had some international and just veteran presence, and Rick Sanchez coming in from FC Dallas definitely holds that, and most likely we'll be fighting out with Lampson for that #1 spot. All remains to be seen because Lampson's been doing a good job in his own right, so don't even know if Lampson's going to be holding on to that starting job for very much longer. We'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, it's about 3 hours to kickoff right now. I'm going to try and find out and see what Sector 8, Sector Latino is doing out here in Columbus. Go get some food, and then go head to the stadium.
Let's go. Match. Visit ColumbusCrewSC.com to get your tickets today. Tickets are now on sale for all of the 2017 fall matches against
So now that I'm in my seats, and actually pretty decent seats. First row, second deck on the center line, so I can see everything. But anyway, to this match. Chicago Fire coming into this with a little bit more advanced squad. Columbus losing one of their top midfielders in Ethan Finley, being traded out, I believe it was to Vancouver, so they're not going to have a lot of depth in the middle there. Nobody to replace them except hope that one of their youth prospects can actually come and fit the bill. But I think this might actually be a little bit different compared to our first match here, which was the first match of the season where it ended 1-1. I think that Chicago actually do have an edge in this and will come out on top and win the season series here with Columbus. My prediction is 2-1 Chicago.
Midfielder from Puerto Limon, Costa Rica, number 42, Wayland.
Yeah, we played that year, and he hasn't been really. He's a good player since.
Just hasn't found a spot in the team.
And he pretty much spent the last season out. I sit there and all those kids that played that. session. Now that they put a turnstile in there type deal, yeah, it's a lot faster because people are
An organized line.
yeah. Well, 5. Yeah. No, but if you watch like a one timer.
He made his entry.
That's a good corner.
This play is not that as sharp.
So the match definitely did not go to plan as Columbus wins by the score of 3-1, and essentially the entire series on the season is tied. We won one, they won one, and a draw happened in the very first match of the season. So, I guess that's how rivalries work at times. You know, you win some, you lose some, you draw some. But honestly, on this day, the Fire looked very lethargic, and this really is starting to become a very unfortunate side effect of having to come back from the Gold Cup break and not really hit on all cylinders. We were doing well up to this point, and then all of a sudden the wheels are starting to fall off. We've only had one win in our last 5 matches at this point. Of course, that was the win at home versus New England last week. And that has been, and also that was the only home match that we had within these last 5. So it's got to be that our form needs to pick up and pick up quickly. Otherwise, we're going to fall behind, not just from Toronto, but get out of the top 2 automatic spots in the playoffs. And that's something that we cannot afford right now. Maybe it's because the MLS is finally starting to realize how we play, that they realize that Nikolic is a poacher and he doesn't do much else aside from that they realize Bastian Schweinsteiger is slow, and if you use pace to him, he's not going to be able to stop it. It's something that Panavic really needs to address with his team, and address it quickly, because we got ourselves 2 matches coming up in rapid succession. A midweek match on Wednesday, traveling out to Montreal, and then we got ourselves the Supporter Shield winners at home, or not winners, but the Supporter Shield leaders at home in Toronto next Saturday. So we got ourselves a full plate, and we need to understand what is wrong with this team right now, and hopefully change how we play in order to get ourselves back on track, back to our winning ways, and once again push towards the top of the Supporter Shield table. Because if we don't, and this is starting to become the new norm for the team, we're going to see ourselves slip further and further down the playoff table, the Eastern Conference table, where yes, we are going to have to play a wild card match to get ourselves into the playoffs proper. And that's something that I didn't think would be possible after watching this team throughout this season so far. But it's starting to become something of a reality that we need to accept it, and I don't want to accept it. Hopefully, with 11 matches left to go in this season, Panavic gets the team running on all cylinders once again, and we stay within the top 2 of our conference and get ourselves through that wild card match. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the match, because I certainly didn't. And I don't think I'll see you guys back for that home match versus Toronto. I may come back for that next match, that next week, versus Minnesota United. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching Chicago Fire Vlog. Take care, peace out, and I will see you, if not next week, 2 weeks from now.